Want to get out of here, big boy? Nah, screw you.
Seriously, I woke up on San Vitus Boulevard running away from the cops in my underwear. Oh! Oh!
Hey, that's my car!
I was like, Mommy, you know, the thing about this, I always wanted to go to Howard, and I went to Howard. And actually, it was in February of 2004. Olives with cream cheese on dark rye. And so it's remember, I'm a prosecutor. I have focused on that. I mean, in a nutshell. Yeah. And it was the assessor at the time. Can you perform some marriages? We need more people. And every nook and cranny of City Hall. Important is that we also appreciate the nuance. You know, there's a lot to do. There's a lot more to do. Who's over the age of 18 as though they're an adult. You know, because it was doubling it, right? Right, where poor people sit in jail and people who have money get out, that there is no difference between any of the kids, our kids, and those kids who are otherwise in the system. So, for example, not to sell you a bag of you know what, but it was difficult to do. It was, in large part, we've got big signs, Dreamers Welcome Here. I've got the rainbow flag. And they were like, why are you putting the rainbow flag? I had to get permission, but I got it. Whatever. And I was like, yo, Ran. So, you know, hey, Ran, how you people doing with it? Good? You know? I've taught him how to chop the onions. Oh, honey, baby, what happened? I'll take care of you. They are in California now, but New Jersey is very much in them. And then, you know, and they're originally from Brooklyn. Okay, so the first time I meet my mother-in-law, she looks at me, she puts my face in her hand. So it's Barb and Mike, my father-in-law's Mike. She puts my face in her hand. She looks at me and she says, oh, look at you. You're prettier than you're on television. Mike, look at her. No. So I think of often your question and that issue, I think of it as a Venn diagram. So, you know, those three circles. The process of preparation is extensive, and it was about finally making lynching a federal crime. You know, I was slow to sign on to it because I really felt it didn't do enough. Years ago, created a juvenile justice system. Political capital doesn't gain interest. So no need to just let it sit there. You might as well spend it. I'm going to change metaphors. She said it was a table. Okay, now I'm going to go with a house for what could be days, weeks, months, even years. Or, equally possible, her attorney will come to her and say, you know, if you plead guilty. When I'm sitting there, I just want to know the truth. Like, I just want to know what happened so that we can avoid, as much as possible, another adversary from interfering in our elections. Because the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us.
Did you know Chicago had castles? And this one was supposedly constructed in just 3 years, from 1882 to 1885, by the Cobb and Frost firm, which we have gone over. We know that they are characters as well. The castle in Chicago destroyed in 1950. The thing was only 65 years old. I'm gonna ask you guys, do castles go out of date in 65 years? The last time I checked, they don't. I mean, even the houses that we build today with their vinyl siding that fall off once a year when the wind blows. These houses don't even go out of date in just 65 years. Yet, a massive castle thrown together in 3 years in the 1800s that looks like it's straight out of a Disney movie. That one goes out of style in just 65 years. They must have looked at it with disgust in that time period. Their standards were just so high while riding around on their donkeys, located in Chicago, Illinois. While they're also over there, just a couple blocks down, gifting old world hotels, all pinned to this Potter Palmer guy. It's amazing. What a time to be alive in the 1800s. You get free hotels and castles everywhere. You know what? I was thinking about it. Let's just go see what this Levi Leiter guy was all about. He also got to live in an old world mansion. They tell us that this one was constructed in 1891. That's the only construction details that they give us on this mansion, where we have seen in previous episodes that they know all about the year -300, over 2,300 years ago. They give us these ridiculous stories about construction, but in 1891, there's nothing. The 55-room marble stairway with a great hall mansion was, of course, taken over by the U.S. government and then demolished just 56 years after it was built because there was nothing to see there. No. And this whole project, we are told, started in 1891, where the old world building that had white marble ceilings, an elaborate fireplace, carved woodwork, because this was very normal stuff in the 1800s. Anybody could have done that. They don't even care to mention who that would have been. They knocked out that hand-carved woodwork that they only needed for 56 years. They start the project in 1891, where he buys the land on June 12th. We are being told that they still haven't started the construction because they finally get the permit. We already know this thing is done in 1893, so they better get going on it. We only got 18 months to work with now. So they get this Theo guy picked out, where they give us a list of other buildings to investigate because this St. Thomas Church is also destroyed. So we get stained glass windows, a marble stairway, hand-carved woodwork, marble ceilings with zero information as to where all of this material even came from. We are told, and we are supposed to believe, that this 55-room masterpiece is done in less than 18 months. When they tell us it was done at some point in 1893, where they decide that it's just not cutting it anymore, and they all agree to knock it down just 56 years later. In a realistic world where everybody is thinking logically, this is a story for a baby. We don't build places today in 18 months and then knock them down in just 56 years. And they didn't do that in the 1800s either. This building was here much longer than we are being told. And this very wealthy individual was clearly a part of a group that allowed him to occupy this old world mansion. And then this is where they give us a clue for us to dig deeper. The clue is Theo Chandler, where they tell us that he designed this castle that got destroyed after just 56 years of use. Well, he also had a few other things attached to his name that should open a few eyes. First of all, he is off supposedly designing a brand new castle in Newcastle County, and they name it the Courthouse. A new castle located in a county called New Castle in the USA, where it only got to stand for 40 years. At this point, alarms should be going off. A very clear pattern with these specific characters, where they are pinned to these old world buildings that hold narratives of incredible construction projects that are being destroyed after such a short amount of time. If we are advancing and times are easier now, we are better at construction now versus the 1800s. Why would they be knocking these type of structures down after just 40 years when we are clearly more advanced than the 1800s in nearly every single aspect, including